My name is Neil Fredrick Law III. My nickname is Freddy. I get that name from early childhood. There was too many Neils when I was growing up. There were three Neils: Neil Law Senior, Neil Law Junior, and then me. And it was too confusing when they called Neil. Three came running, so they shortened my middle name to Freddy. That's how I got my name, Freddy. And most people in Brooksville and Hernando County know me by Freddy. I was born in 1937, July the 20th. I just turned 76 last month. So I go back a long ways. I'm the sixth generation of the Law family. My mother and daddy, my dad was named Neil Law Jr., and my mother was Lucille Weeks Law. The Weeks come from the Weeks family that were in a hardware store since 1920 in Brooksville. And Joe Weeks, her brother, still runs a hardware store in downtown Brooksville. And the Law family comes from actually from South Carolina, and they moved from South Carolina to Hamilton County, which is Jasper, Florida. And then my great granddaddy came to Hernando County in 1840. We were one of the first pioneer families in Hernando County in 1840. The old Law homestead was up here on Irene Street, on Dr. Creekmore old house. It's where my dad was born, just the next street over.
Oh wow, born in the house over here?
Mm-hmm.
Now, were you born at home or were you born in a hospital?
No, I was born on Brooksville Avenue.
On Brooksville Avenue, right over here?
And I was very small. I didn't weigh 3 or 4 pounds. They took me to the hospital to put me in the incubator. I was in incubator for several months before I came home.
So what was it like back in the day during your childhood here in the county?
Well, I lived more or less in the eastern section of Hernando County, out on Coon Road. I was more or less raised out there. Of course, my early childhood, I was brought up on Brooksville Avenue in the old Weeks house. My mother taught elementary school, and my grandmother Weeks, Joe Weeks' mother, over here Weeks Hurwitz, kind of raised me while my mother taught school. But anyway, and then later on, this is a picture of the old homestead out on Coon Road that was built in the 40s. We lived there when I was around 10, 11 years old. And then when my granddad was sheriff between 1933 and 1948, and he built the house. This is a picture of him at the old courthouse sitting behind his desk.
And who was
The
that?
new house he built when he left office. This is a picture of the new house here.
And that's him standing outside on
And
the porch?
that's the present house I live in right now. This is a picture of my daddy standing in front of the new house. But to give you a bit of history, we were the first one to have electricity out there.
Wow.
REA in 1946, 47. We was first hookup. We the first customer.
Do you remember getting electricity?
Oh yeah,
at the
I
house?
remember one light bulb hanging from the ceiling.
One light bulb?
You turn it. Oh yeah.
Don't even know how to use it, right?
That's right. It was a real revolution, I tell you.
Yeah. Did you have a lot of friends come over and check it out? And did you
Yeah.
have parties because you were the one with the light bulb?
Yeah, we all had a good time with the first electricity. Well, the county was really a southern county. It was slow paced, laid back, rugged type people, hard shell people. You wouldn't accept it unless you came in here and had a good job and prove yourself to be a good person until the people accept you. And so you had to make a good name for yourself before people accept you back then.
Oh, that's very interesting.
But it was we just had one bank, Hernando State Bank back then. We had one high school, Hernando High and elementary school. My mother taught elementary school. There was one fourth grade. My mother taught me in the fourth grade.
When you were younger, when you were just a kid, when you weren't in school, what were you doing?
Well, mainly after I got out of school, I had to go home and work on the farm, help daddy with the cattle and the power mill horses, and we were one of the first one that had Pensacola hair grass. We had big pastures of hair grass where we combined the seed and sold the seed for used to be $2 or $3 a pound.
Wow.
And got down to $1 a pound and 50 cents a pound. Then we had to get rid of our combines and everything. But we were one of the first ranches around here that had Pensacola Behavior grass, which was improved grass for cattle, he said.
Mm-hmm.
Movie theater, old Dixie Theater. We all used to go to Dixie Theater and watch the shoot 'em up cowboy movies on Saturday afternoon. And we had a drive-in theater called 41 Drive-In out on 41 South. And
Do you remember the cost of the movies?
10 cents.
10 cents for a movie.
Matter of fact, my folks used to give me $1, and I was able to go to the movie for 10 cents and buy popcorn and candy and go over to the restaurant next door called Pete's Hamburger Place. You get a hamburger for 25 cents or a cheeseburger for 35 cents and a
Wow.
Pepsi Cola. And I still had money left. There was 2 hardware stores, Weeks Hardware and Wheeler Hardware, only 2 grocery stores, and the small police force, very small police force.
That's awesome. You remember the sand mines back, 50
Oh yeah,
years ago?
yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, we could watch it real small. They still had the show. I think the show started down there about 48.
Mm-hmm.
The mermaid shows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there was a nice sandbanks down there that we'd go. We parked on the side of the road and go through the woods and go to the sandbanks. And
And just go swimming and fishing?
we didn't do much fishing. You could fish down there, but we maybe just went down there for enjoyment.
Do you have any memories of specific major events that had happened?
Yes, when I was in elementary and junior high school, they used to have musical plays and acts at old elementary school, and that was real good. My friend that was up a division, you might say, junior senior, put on real good musical plays, and music and different types of shows, art shows, things like that. And that was really enjoyable. And of course, I was more of a sport enthusiast. I played sports in high school, all 3 sports: football, and basketball, and some baseball. And matter of fact, I played underneath Tom Vaughn. We won many championship games. Mainly, we won 3 championships when I was in high school: 1951, 52, 54. We didn't have a gym back then. For basketball, we went over to Brooksville. They the only one that had a gym, a closed-in gym. We had to play open court out here, and the same open court by the high school, which is now the First Baptist Church. We played basketball in open court. During the winter time, we about closed to death. We had an old fish camp at what's now called Hernando Beach, and I used to go down there fishing with my granddad and my daddy, great fishing, trout and everything. And you couldn't get there except off the Arapika Highway. Shores Road wasn't there then. And you had to go through the swamp to get to it. You used to get stuck 3 or 4 times before you got to the fish camp. But after you got there, you catch a boatload of fish and bring them back home and eat them, you say.
Yeah.
And I think Shores Road put it in the mid-50s when Alfred McKeithen came to be state road chairman, and they put in Highway 50 and 98 and all of that. And then, of course, it wasn't paved till later on. It just a limestone road back in the 50s, and then they later on the county paved it. So that started to increase people moving down there and everything. Then Spring Hill came in here, and I remember Spring Hill just off 19, just a small little community, and then it kept on getting bigger and bigger, and now it's a monstrosity,
Yeah. Back to the fishing camp, you said you would have got stuck several times trying to get there through the swamp. Were you on foot or were you trying to drive with a truck?
We were driving through there. We used to use what we call old mail trucks, which are big kind of heavy duty trucks, and they had more prone with getting through the swamp and high water and everything.
Wow, that's really neat.
Of course, there were no golf courses back then. The first golf course was the Brooksville Country Club in 1971, but way before then, in 1920, they had a golf course off of Howell Avenue back towards 41 called Hickory. I think it's Hickory Hill, I believe.
In the 20s?
Way back then, and then the depression hit, and they killed that, you see. And then there was another golf course out toward Lake Lindsay. I think that might have been called Hickory Hill too. I don't know. I forget what they called this one here. And it might have been just Brooksville, But I know there was another golf course way back in the depression times, But anyway, we were the first major golf course. My mother and dad gave 160 acres for the golf course, and my dad developed the land around it, sold the lots, and so forth. And he was the developer Dogwood Estates and Dogwood Heights. And he worked for the post office for 20-something years. He deal with mail in the morning, then came out and took care of the cows and horses in the afternoon.
Wow. And are you a golfer?
Yes, I'm a
Are you a
golfer.
golfer?
I'm a duffer mostly. In the future, there weren't too many major highways. It's just Highway 41 going through town, and Highway 50 they put in 50s, and Highway 19. And a lot of streets around Brooksville wasn't paved, just the major streets. You get outside the city limits, but most of the streets wasn't paved. The county outside the city limits had a lot of flooding.
Yeah.
I can remember back in the 40s, we used to have a lot of hurricanes back in the, maybe sometime 2 or 3 a year. And I can remember that Highway 41 south of Brooksville, you could take a boat from Brooksville and go to Massaret Town.
To Massaret Town from Brooksville in a boat.
It's wet down there anyway,
Sure.
and you could take a boat and go all the way to Massaret Town. And you couldn't get into Brooksville hard. There's a one way into Brooksville. Brooksville was flooded all the way around.
Oh, wow.
Out on Croon Road, the eastern section, south of here and north of here, and but it was quite an ordeal getting to town back then when there was some major hurricanes.
Yeah. So how has the county changed since
Well, like I say, it used to be a southern county, and now it's more of an urban county. The people are different. Most people came from New York, New Jersey, and still, people are just different, and it is also a southern atmosphere, but still good people, and they have really improved the county in many ways, technology and a lot of opportunities for young people and everything, Quite a change since the 1950s.
Oh, absolutely.
I think you had to be born and raised during that time to really appreciate that period and also appreciate the changes that have come about since then, Because those are what I might call the good old days, but there's been a lot of improvement since then. Because back then, when you graduated high school, there was no opportunities to work, no work opportunities. You had to leave the county to get a good job, and that's why I went into college to get a degree and get a good job. And most young people had to leave the county to get a good job. Now there's all kind of opportunity. A lot of industries are moving in here, and the county have grown from 3,000 or 4,000 people to almost 200,000 people, you say.
Wow, yeah.
So there's a lot more opportunity than there used to be, you say.
Where do you see the county going from here?
Well, just get bigger. Big government, more taxes, more industry, more development, residential development, home sites, and I don't look for it to get any smaller.
I don't think it's getting any smaller either.
I think the good old days are gone forever, but that's just time and change, and growth brings on a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, and also brings on more crime too. So you got to take the good with the bad with the good,
Yeah.
But I just want to say that I'm real proud of where I came from and my family history and everything. I'm glad to be the sixth generation still here.
Absolutely.